Hello, hello, and good Saturday to you. I hope you are having a good weekend. Today is day one of a new challenge. Kelly is out of town. I dropped her off at the airport this morning. So if you followed me before, you know that means I'm going to challenge myself to something. So join me. We're going to start this challenge today, and welcome in. Oh, Jeff, I'm muted. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's start over. You probably didn't hear any of that. Kelly, I dropped my wife off at the airport this morning. She's out of town, and that means I'm going to challenge myself. And one of the things, thanks, man. No audio after the scene changed. Okay. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm going to go live every day because I'm testing out this new version of Ecamm. I'll talk more about that, but yeah, that's what I'm doing. My wife is off on another trip. She is she's on an airplane right now heading to Miami. So, but I'm excited because we've got the biggest powwow of the year coming up in 2 weeks, which I'll be using the new version of Ecamm. So I'm testing that out. At the end of this month, I've also got a webinar where I'm doing some more Facebook stuff. So I'm trying to figure out what Facebook likes in this new dual mode of Ecamm. So we'll figure that out. But let's first get to this, and that is the shirt of the day. If you saw my video that I did earlier a couple weeks ago about my Roosevelt collection and Kelly's objection to me getting a new shirt, which was just staged. She is all supportive of my shirts. I did find the Figment shirt at Disney World. So that's the shirt of the day. And if you want to start your Roosevelt collection, paulgatter.com/shirts gets you a discount and gives me some points in my loyalty. So go check that out. But yeah, I'm super excited. I got my Roosevelt shirt. Bell Grease, hello. Thanks so much for tuning in. That's awesome. Thank you. Hello. Nietzsche. All right. So as I'm doing this, and like I said, I'm gonna be live every day. So please, if you wanna talk about something else, if we can get off track, it's fine. So post in the comments and we can do whatever out. We can talk about whatever, but I'd love to do that. But today I am kicking off this live every day, and Kelly just landed in Miami, so good for her. She's off for the next part of this trip. So here's what I'm doing, and I'm also challenging myself to some other stuff, which I always love doing. But here's what I'm doing. While she's out of town, I am going to go live every day. Like I said earlier, I want to test out this new version of Ecamm and see how that works. I'm also challenging myself to list at least 25 items on eBay. I already got some of those done today. So let's talk about Ecamm first. And let's go ahead and Ecamm, thank you so much for sponsoring this series of live videos as well as Gathering of Nations. If you're interested and want to know more about Ecamm, go check out ecamm.com/powwows and get 15% off your first month. But here, before I get into what I think about the new version of Ecamm, here's my friend Doc to tell you all about it. Maybe.
Here's what most creators are doing right now. Recording one video, reframing it, cropping it, then posting it everywhere and hoping that it works. That's not a strategy, that's a prayer. Dual mode in Ecamm changes all of that. One session, but you walk away with two completely separate, intentionally designed videos. A polished version for YouTube and a vertical version specifically designed for TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, or any other platform that takes vertical video. Different framing, different layouts, different intentions. Because a lot of tools will handle different sizes, but Ecamm handles different intentions. Podcasters get their full episodes and those clips that they can share on social media. Educators get their entire lessons and those key takeaways that they can chop up into bite-sized pieces. And us YouTube creators, we get that good long-form video and those YouTube shorts. All in one session, No compromises, no cropping, and no hoping. That's dual mode. That's Ecamm. Try it today for free. Link down in the description.
All right, cool. That's Doc telling you more about what this dual mode is. So uh, on my screen, I can see the horizontal and vertical, which is really cool. But for me, what I'm really excited about is, especially at our powwows, but also what I do here at home, is that it's recording in both formats. So if you want to repurpose for TikTok and Reels and Shorts and all that other stuff, your vertical video is already there and already ready to go. You just have to do a little bit of work ahead of time to make sure that you format your overlays and all your graphics to go on both. And that's what I'm still trying to figure out a little bit, and make sure that I have all those graphics in the right place. I've got to go in and maybe one of these lives, I'll do an actual work session and play with what I'm going to do at gathering with all the different overlays and videos and all the other stuff that we're going to put in. So that's kind of what I'm working on today. If you have questions, if you have questions about Ecamm, let me know. And I'm trying to figure out this one today. I'm streaming to Facebook and YouTube, and I'm sending the vertical and the horizontal at the same time. I don't know how Facebook's going to like that. YouTube apparently is smart enough to put the vertical in the shorts feed and the horizontal in the traditional YouTube feed. I don't know how Facebook is going to handle two videos live at the same time on the same profile. So I want to dig into the analytics and see what that looks like after I'm done. At the end of this month, though, I'm doing, I think it's April 29th, I'm going to do a webinar called Facebook Unlocked. If you're interested in that, post down in the comments. But I've been talking with a lot of people about Facebook, and right now, for me, I think it is the biggest opportunity for organic reach we have. Facebook just talked about they paid $3 billion out to creators in 2025 because they're really focusing on getting more creators to come back to the platform to post more content. And the reason why is simple. They need more content to run ads against because that's how they make money. So they're incentivizing creators like me and lots of others to post more content. So I've been doing that over on my business page and here on my personal and trying to figure out what's working and what's not. So at the end of this month, we're going to do Facebook Unlocked, where I'm going to go through and show you what's working for me and what I'm seeing that is getting good organic reach, and really dig into that. And so we'll have I'm going to have a presentation, but then we're also going to have time to take questions and dig into the issues you have as well. The other thing I'm going to challenge myself to do this week, and I'm kind of excited about this part because I got a ton of content from last week. We went on the Margaritaville at Sea Islander. First time we've cruised that cruise line at all. If you are a cruise person, then you may know a little bit about Margaritaville at Sea. Their first ship was the Paradise. And if you followed any of the content on that over the last couple of years, it wasn't good. They were the worst rated cruise line in America for a while. People did not enjoy that ship. Well, Margaritaville at Sea has taken all of that feedback and they're making some changes. They actually did a complete dry dock recently on Paradise. They're going to be changing its itinerary, getting rid of their 2-night cruises and going to longer sailings. And then this newer ship, the Islander, they are really focused on improving the experience and putting themselves out there as a solid cruise line. So I posted earlier today kind of my intro video. Internet on the ship wasn't great. I bought like the mid-tier package. Maybe if I bought the premium package, I could have posted more content from the ship, but that's okay. I've got tons of content that's coming up this week, and I'll be posting that. Our room tour will go out tomorrow. And then I've got lots of other things. We did the QMN, Quietly Making Noise Speakeasy, which is like a mini museum to Jimmy Buffett. So I have a video and some stuff from that. What else is on the list? I made a list of all the videos I've got to publish from the ship. We went to the steakhouse, which is their one kind of upcharge premium restaurant. So I've got that. I actually did look for some bourbon on the ship, and they had a pretty good selection. I was impressed. And they have a duty-free shop on the ship where they sell E.H. Taylor, Blanton's, and Buffalo Trace, along with some other stuff. So I'll have some videos about that. We'll talk about the food. And one of the things that really shocked me, two things that surprised me about the ship, that come to mind when I tell people about this. One is the crew was fantastic. They were friendly. They started conversations. They really came up and went out of their way to see how you were and see how you were doing. That was awesome. The other thing, and I think Kelli had told me about this, but it didn't click until we got on the ship. If you are a first responder or a veteran, and I think teachers as well, you can sail on Margaritaville at Sea for free. You just have to go on their website and register. You have to pay the taxes and the port fees, but it's pretty inexpensive, like under $200, and you can sail on a 4 or 5 night cruise, which is pretty awesome. But then on our last sea day, they actually had a hero ceremony, and they had they recognized everybody from each branch. They had them, kind of come up. They had a couple of veterans speak, which was really cool to hear. We had both of the people that spoke on our sailing were Vietnam veterans. So that was really cool to hear their stories and kind of them talking about their time in the military. So it was a really moving experience. That was cool. So it's cool that they do that on every sailing. So that's my list. Live every day. I'm going to list at least 25 things on eBay, and then do my Margaritaville at Sea. Of course, I've got my other regular work I've got to do as well this week. So I'll be working on that as well. And what's Kelli doing? Well, Kelli is off on her agency's spring conference. They call it Spring Fling. So all the other agents at her travel agency are heading down to Miami, and they are getting on a Norwegian cruise line sailing. And they're heading out for 4 nights on the Norwegian Aqua, I believe, which is their second newest ship. Kelli and I haven't been on Norwegian before, so we're kind of excited to see what that's all about. She's booked several clients on there, but she hasn't. We haven't sailed it ourselves, so she's going to spend 4 nights on the ship and kind of get a feel of what it's like. I think they do have some trainings and some get-togethers, but yeah, she'll have 4 days to really figure out what's going on. This is the 3rd trip in the last year that she's gone on without me. But she did take me on Margaritaville at Sea, so I can't complain too much. That was her travel agency put that together too. Or Margaritaville at Sea invited travel agents and people from her travel agency went, as well as lots of others. So she did take me on that one. It's kind of crazy. Since February, this will be her 5th cruise ship she's been on. It's pretty awesome. She's had a crazy couple of months. We both have. It's been pretty awesome. But I'm here from the next 2 weeks until I head over to Albuquerque for the Gathering of Nations. All right, but this is day 1 of my challenge of going live every day. So now I'm going to go and see what this looks like on Facebook and see how the analytics look. But thanks for being here. I appreciate your support, and come back tomorrow. We'll see what we're going to talk about then. Thanks.